Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 17th April 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, all of you please note we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. You might be knowing it is a highly expensive training course, but we are providing complete free training and all the training lessons are available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. So at our channel homepage, click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community. So click on the tab, you get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course YouTube playlist. Here I kept all the training videos. You need to start your training from lesson 1.1 that is available at the bottom of the page. Here starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one, but according to training instructions, my training instructions provided at our Telegram channel. I provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So please join at our Telegram channel. At the top of the Telegram channel window, you can find pinned messages. So go to the pinned messages, and one of the pinned messages are having all the training instructions. So learn this course according to those training instructions. Then only you will become a very good independent trader in the coming months time period. So please make use of this opportunity. Okay, now I am going back to the NeoStock Software Supply Demand Zone Top-Down Analysis Strategy Builder. So I am going to generate different supply demand zone reports, and also this is also weekend. So I will also be generating few additional reports for weekly time frame. So that I will generate when we are generating stocks near demand and supply zones for weekly time frame. At the time I will include those additional reports. Okay, first I am going to generate different supply demand zone reports for different time frames, and daily and above I will also identify price closed inside the demand and supply zones. That strategy I already explained in the training lesson 29.6 video. Is it 29.6 or 29.7? Please check the number. The most recent video. Okay, now starting with the yearly time frame. Let us find the stocks where price closed inside the yearly demand zone. We got 4 stocks. I am giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. So I request you pause the video, study the report, and after that you can proceed to the next reports. If you don't understand the structure of this report, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1, that is part 1 of lesson 21. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, next report, going back. Price closed inside the yearly supply zone. We don't have any stocks. Next time frame, half yearly time frame. Stocks near half yearly demand zone. No stocks are available. Stocks near half yearly supply zone also. We don't have any stocks. And price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. We got 2 stocks. Next, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near quarterly demand zone. 1 stock is filtered. Next, stocks near to the quarterly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. First, we got 21 stocks. We can further filter this list based on quarterly demand zones having quarterly EMA confluence. So I'm going back in the EMA confluence at quarterly time frame. I'm setting the filter quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. When you set EMA confluence filter, trend on the time frame should not be sideways. So that's why in the trend at quarterly time frame, I'm not including sideways. Instead, I'm selecting only up or down because you already land. EMA confluence should be used only in the trending market but not sideways. So with these filters, we got 9 stocks. From 21, they're filtered to 9 stocks. So these 9 quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. And also current price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. Okay, next, quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 9 stocks. So let's verify out of these 9, how many quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. So in the EMA confluence at quarterly time frame, I'm selecting quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. So now 3 stocks are filtered. So this is about quarterly time frame. Next, we will look into monthly time frame. Stocks near monthly demand zone. We got 2 stocks. Next, stocks near monthly supply zone. We got 14 stocks. Next, price closed inside the monthly demand zone. First 17 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. Total 30 stocks are filtered. Okay. Now we will further filter this based on monthly demand zones having monthly EMA confluence. I'm going back. In the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, I'm selecting the filter monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence or not. At the same time, trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, we got 7 stocks. All these 7 monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence. Always look into the search strategy. We will get the clarity. At the same time, monthly trend is also only trending, that is up or down, but not sideways. And current price closed inside the monthly demand zone because time frame is monthly. Okay. Next, for monthly time frame, price closed inside the monthly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. Total 29 stocks are filtered. Out of these 29, how many monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA confluence? Let us verify. I'm going back. In the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, setting the filter monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence, and trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, we got 18 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 18 stocks are filtered. All these monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA Confluence. And also current price closed inside the monthly supply zone. So this is about monthly time frame. The next time frame is weekly. This is also end of the week. Now I am going to generate few additional reports also. Okay, first weekly time frame. Stocks near weekly demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Next, for weekly time frame, stocks near weekly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 25 stocks are filtered. Okay, next. Price closed inside the weekly demand zone. We got 11 stocks. Now let us further filter based on the weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence. I am going back in the EMA Confluence at weekly time frame, setting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence. At the same time, trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, we got only 1 stock. Okay, next, for weekly time frame, price closed inside the weekly supply zone. We got a big list. First 16 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 73 stocks are filtered. So out of these 73, we can again further filter based on weekly supply zones having weekly EMA Confluence. So I am going back in the EMA Confluence at weekly time frame. I am setting the filter weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence. At the same time, trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It should be either up or down. With these filters, now the list is come down to 24 stocks. So first 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 24 stocks are filtered. Okay, few additional reports also we will generate. Next, weekly time frame. Let us identify the tested weekly demand zone. The stocks having tested weekly demand zones. So none of the weekly demand zones are tested during this week. Next, weekly time frame. Let us identify the tested weekly supply zone. That is stocks having tested weekly supply zones. So we got a very big list. We got 47 stocks. So these 47 stocks having weekly supply zones are tested during this week, including NIFTY Bank and NIFTY Mid Cap Select. Both are listed in F&O. And also current price closed inside the weekly supply zone. Okay, some of these zones are closed inside the zone. Some of the zones might have been pierced during this week, and some of these stocks are tested and moving towards the demand zone. Many actions. See, this is after testing, moving near to the demand zone, pierced demand zone. So all these combinations you can see. I'm scrolling the list down for your reference purpose. So total 47 stocks are filtered. They are having tested weekly supply zones. Okay, next, for weekly time frame, let us find the stocks having newly created weekly demand zones during this week. So these stocks having a weekly demand zones are created during this week. Okay, next, for weekly time frame, let us find the stocks having newly created weekly supply zones during this week. So none of the weekly supply zones are created during this week. Next, we will also generate weekly demand zones and supply zones based on the zone confluence, LTF, ITF, HTF zone confluence. First, let us look into the demand zones for weekly time frame. In the demand zone confluence, I am going to add 3 filters. First, weekly demand zone should overlap with the monthly demand zone and also quarterly demand zone. So this is weekly demand zone with quarterly demand zone, and this quarterly also should overlap with this monthly also overlap with quarterly. So that's why I am setting monthly demand zone with quarterly demand zone. That means all 3 are overlapped with each other. Let's filter. We got a big list. Scrolling the list down. "37 stocks are filtered." We can further filter this list because weekly and monthly together overlapped with quarterly. Let us filter quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. So in the EMA confluence at quarterly time frame, because the weekly together with monthly are overlapped with quarterly. Everything, all zones are part of quarterly. That's why we are checking quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. But at the same time, when you set the EMA, trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. So I'm checking up or down. With these filters, we got a good number of stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 23 stocks are filtered. All these quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA confluence, because HTF is quarterly. And your zones, LTF zones, so they are all weekly demand zones, all these zones. Okay, similarly, let us look into weekly, monthly and quarterly supply zone confluence supported stocks. Selecting entry time frame weekly. In the supply zone confluence, I am selecting 3 filters. First filter, weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. Then weekly supply zone with quarterly supply zone confluence, and also monthly supply zone with quarterly supply zone confluence. All 3 are having confluence with each other. That is weekly, monthly and quarterly. Now let's filter. We got only 6 stocks. Out of these 6, let us verify how many of these quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. In the EMA at quarterly, I'm selecting quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA Confluence. At the same time, trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. Can be up or down. With these filters, we got two stocks. So these two quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA Confluence. At the same time, weekly and monthly supply zones are overlapped with quarterly supply zones. And these supply zones are weekly supply zones, which are overlapped with quarterly supply zone that is having quarterly EMA Confluence. So this is about weekly time frame. Next we will go to daily time frame. For daily time frame, entry time frame daily, let us find the stocks near to the daily demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. ICICI GI having a high liquidity daily demand zone. That's it. We got only one high liquidity daily demand zone from this list. Next, for entry time frame daily, let us find the stocks near to the daily supply zone. We got 14 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily supply zones from this list. Ambuja Cement is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. It is also having daily high liquidity demand zone, but it is very far away. Stock should fell down by 19.87%, then only it will reach the demand zone. Okay, so let's focus only on the supply zone. Next one is Ashok Leyland. Next, Dabur. Davis Labs is a piercer zone. Next one is GMR Airports. Next one is Supreme Industries. That's it. We identified 5 high liquidity daily supply zones from this list. Okay, next, for daily time frame, price closed inside the daily demand zone, we got 5 stocks. Next, daily time frame, price closed inside the daily supply zone. We got 15 stocks, first 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 86 stocks are filtered. These 86 we can further filter based on daily supply zones having daily EMA Confluence. At the same time, trend on the daily should not be sideways. So trend we are setting up or down. With these filters, we got 12 stocks. Earlier in the daily demand zone, price closed inside the daily demand zone, we did not filter based on EMA. So let me complete that activity also. So daily time frame, price closed inside the daily demand zone, We got 5 stocks. This we need to filter based on the EMA Confluence. Daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence. At the same time, the trend on the daily should not be sideways. It can be up or down. We did not get any stocks. Okay. So this is about daily time frame. Next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near to the 125 minutes demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 125 minutes supply zone. We got 6 stocks again. Demand zone also 6, right? Yeah, there are 6 stocks. And the supply zone also 6 stocks. Okay. Next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near to the 75 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Let us identify 75 minutes high liquidity zones from this list. CAMS is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. Next, TI India is also having 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. So total we identified 2 stocks from this list. Okay, next, entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near to the 75 minute supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. And it is a Pierce zone, we can't trade. Sun Pharma is having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. We got only 1 stock from this list. So with this we have completed identification of daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones. Okay, next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 25 minute supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near to the 15 minutes demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Let us further filter based on the zone confluence. That is 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. Okay, next 15 minutes time frame. Stocks near to the 15 minute supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Okay, we will filter based on 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. We got 1 stock, but that is a pierced supply zone. Okay, next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Let us filter this list based on the zone confluence. That is 5 minutes demand zone with the 15 minutes demand zone confluence. Now we got 3 stocks. Next, for 5 minutes time frame, stocks near to the 5 minute supply zone, we got 5 stocks. Let us further filter this list based on the supply zone Confluence, ITF Confluence. That is a 5 minute supply zone with a 15 minutes supply zone Confluence. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Next, we will generate a NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Starting with NIFTY, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. So this is NIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain. So any supply demand zone chain report, always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones, and look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones, and always look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. And one time frame higher is HTF, and one more time frame higher is one time frame higher is ITF, one more time frame higher is HTF. And you are aware of these concepts. Okay, next, weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Okay, next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Serial number 25 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Serial number 24 is nearest supply zone. So let me put this nearest demand zone in the middle, so that we can access equal number of demand and supply zones. Okay, this is about 15 minutes supply demand zone chain. Next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. All these are all supply zones. Scrolling the list down. So serial number 36 is having a demand zone. Let me put it in the center. So this is about 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. So next we will generate Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. I'm going back, changing the name to Nifty Bank. That is nothing but Bank Nifty. So generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 125 minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. So this is about Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. So with this we have completed both Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next we will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly, daily and hourly income trades. Okay, starting with the bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame is daily, entry zone is demand zone. Bullish or bearish trade setup at daily time frame, I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhance score 12. With these filters we got 12 stocks. All these 12 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. And entry time frame is daily. Entry zone, demand zone. And the report we are generating bullish trade setup for entry time frame daily. That is nothing but monthly income trade. Okay, out of these 12, there could be some high probability trade setup supported zones might be available. Let us filter them based on this zone confluence. First, LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is nothing but a daily and a weekly demand zone confluence. So enable the filter. With this filter, now we got 8 stocks. All these 8 stocks, the daily demand zones overlapped with the weekly demand zone. And also weekly trend is up in all the stocks. ITF is a weekly trend. So that's why let us further filter. Weekly demand zone is having weekly EMA confluence. In that case, the overlapped daily demand zones inside the weekly might be having even more strong institutional order flows. They might be having more success rate. It is a probability. High probability setup stocks. So that's why in the EMA confluence at a weekly time frame, I am checking weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence or not. With this filter, we got 5 stocks. So these 5 daily demand zones, because entry time frame is daily, even though they are overlapped with weekly, but entry zone is daily. Because they are overlapped with weekly, they have more strong order flow, and that weekly is also having VMA confluence. That is another indication that these zones might be having more strong institutional order flows. But some of these zones are pierced. So any pierced demand zones are there? No, we don't have any pierced demand zones. Because bullish trade setup, we should look into only demand zones. Supply zones are only target. To book the profit, the supply zones are target zones. Okay, this is about LTF, ITF demand zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. That is daily, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence support. First, I am removing this weekly EMA filter because it is ITF specific. Now you should focus on HTF. So in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters I am going to add. First filter is the daily and weekly demand zone confluence. It is already enabled. Next, daily and monthly demand zone confluence. And third, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zones. Both together again overlapped with monthly demand zone. See the demand zone confluence filter. Monthly, weekly, monthly daily and weekly daily, all 3. So they are overlapped with monthly. They might be having strong institutional order flow, but monthly demand zone, only this first stock is having uptrend. So that's why if the monthly demand zone in this stock having monthly EMA confluence, then this stock might be having a strong high probability to get success. Let's verify. EMA confluence at monthly time frame, checking monthly demand zone having monthly EMA. At the same time, monthly trend should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So this stock is filtered. That means this monthly demand zone is having even more high probability to get success. Maybe that is the reason why, see, this zone is already tested once and then moving near to the, it already went near to the supply zone. So this might have already gave you maybe close to 16% profit it might have given you. Okay, this is about a bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, we will look into bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. So entry time frame daily, entry zone supply zone, bullish or bearish trade setup at entry time frame daily. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd and enhanced score should be 12. With these filters, we got 5 stocks. These 5 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. And entry time frame zones are daily supply zone. So all these daily supply zones, we need to look into the stocks for the entry point of view. But out of these 5, there could be more high probability. Some of the high probability trade setup stocks might be available. We need to filter them. First filter, LTF, ITF supply zone confluence. That is daily and weekly supply zone confluence. So I enable the filter. With this filter, we got 5 stocks. So in all these 5 stocks, these are daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. And also weekly trend, ITF trend, is a downtrend in all the stocks. So if weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence, then those stocks might be having even more high probability to get success. Let's verify. EMA confluence, weekly time frame, I'm checking. Weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. Now 3 stocks are filtered. So these 3 stocks, these 3 weekly supply zones, daily supply zones, they are overlapped with weekly supply zones, all these daily supply zones. And also that weekly supply zone having daily EMA confluence. So this is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence with the supply zone. Next we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, daily with weekly supply zone confluence. Next, daily with monthly supply zone confluence. Weekly with monthly supply zone confluence. By setting all the 3 filters, we got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with the weekly supply zone. Again, both together overlapped with monthly supply zone. And also monthly trend is down in only one stock. If this stock is having monthly supply zone with monthly EMA confluence, it might be having more high probability to get success. So let us filter. Monthly time frame, monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. Let us filter. Sorry, here sideways I have to eliminate, because when you monthly trend should not be sideways. So that's why in the monthly time frame I am eliminating sideways and selecting downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So this one stock is filtered. The one stock having downtrend is filtered. So that means this daily supply zone might be having more high probability to get success. So this is about bearish trade setup for monthly income trade and entry time frame daily supply zone. Next, we will look into weekly income trade. Excuse me, let me drink some water. Okay, I'm sorry. So let's look into weekly income trade supported stocks. First, weekly income trade bullish trade setup. Entry time frame is 75 minutes. Entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, at 75 minutes entry time frame, I am selecting bullish. And zone achievement, violated opposing zone. And the minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. And one more filter, 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter, at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count should be 0. Pierced count 0 means zone is not pierced. So let's filter. We got 4 stocks. So all these 4 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. So we got 4 75 minutes demand zones. Out of these 4 75 minutes demand zones, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF, ITF, demand zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. I am selecting the filter 75 minutes demand zone confluence with daily demand zone. With this filter we got only one stock. Let us verify, because 75 is overlapped with daily and daily trend is up. Let us verify if daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. So I am going back. In the EMA confluence, checking in the daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence or not. So we don't have EMA confluence. Check the filter, EMA confluence. Daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence or not. Because 75 minutes demand zone is overlapped with daily demand zone. Okay, now let us check if it is that 75 minutes demand zone having even weekly demand zone confluence or not. I am removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, 75 with daily demand zone confluence. Next 75 minutes demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. Then daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence with all the 3 filters. So that is not having even HTF confluence. So this is about a bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next we will look into bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd and hands score 12. And the 75 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter, at 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 12 stocks. So these 12 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zones. All these are all 75 minute supply zones. We got 12 stocks. All these are all 75 minutes entry time frame bearish. 75 minutes entry time frame means it is a weekly income trade, bearish trade setup. Okay, out of these 12, 75 minute supply zones, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the supply zone confluence, that is ITF and LTF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. So this is the filter. I am enabling the filter. 75 minutes supply zone confluence with daily supply zone. With this filter, out of 12 stocks, we got all 12 stocks. That means in all these 12 stocks, 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with the daily supply zone. Daily is ITF. So ITF trend is down in all the stocks. Daily trend is down. And 75-minute supply zone overlapped with daily. So that's why if daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence, then the overlapped 75-minute supply zones are having even more high probability to get success. So let us filter. In the EMA confluence at daily time frame, I am checking the daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence or not. Anyway, daily trend is downtrend. So let's filter. So we got 5 stocks. So these 5 75-minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success compared to the other stocks. Okay, so this is about LTF ITF supply zone confluence and ITF supply zone with ITF EMA confluence. Next we will look into LTF, ITF and even HTF supply zone confluence. All the 3 supply zones should overlap with each other. So I am removing EMA filter. We need to set 3 filters in the supply zone confluence. First filter is already enabled, 75 with daily supply zone confluence. Next 75-minute supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. Daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. So all the 3 filters are enabled. With these 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, we got 5 stocks. That means in all the 5 stocks, these 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. Both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone. And the weekly trend is down in 4 stocks out of 5. If those stocks are having, any of those 4 stocks are having weekly EMA confluence, then they might be having even more high probability to get success. So let us filter. Because all are overlapped with weekly, so we are checking in weekly time frame. Weekly supply zone having weekly EMA or not. At the same time, trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. Let's filter. We got 2 stocks. So these 2 75-minute supply zones are having even more high probability to get success. See, that is the reason why this one is already tested 2 times. This is also tested 2 times. Okay. Next we will look into, actually this is a bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. With this we have completed weekly income trade. Next we will look into daily income trade reports. For daily income trade, bullish trade setup, entry time frame is 15 minutes and entry zone should be demand zone. And also in bullish or bearish at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish. And zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhanced score should be 12. And also this 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter, at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. So with these filters, we got 15 stocks. All these 15 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. And the entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. These are 15 minutes demand zones. These are the entry time frame zones. So total we have 15 stocks. That means we got 15 minutes demand zones. 15 minutes demand zones. Out of these 15 minutes demand zones, how many are having even more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the zone confluence, demand zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is nothing but 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence, LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. So by setting this filter, out of 15 stocks, we got 12 stocks. In these 12 stocks, the 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is uptrend in all the stocks because it is bullish trade setup. And ITF is 75 minutes time frame. So that's why if any of the 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, then the overlapped 15 minutes demand zone inside the 75 minutes demand zone are having even more high probability to get success. That we will filter. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting the filter 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence or not. Anyway, 75 minutes trend is uptrend. So let's filter. We got two stocks. So these two 15 minutes demand zones might be having even more high probability to get success. So this is based on LTF, ITF demand zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. Going back, removing EMA filter because it is ITF specific. Now we should focus on HTF. So in the demand zone confluence, I should set three filters. First filter is already enabled, 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. Next filter, 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence, and then 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the three filters, we got three stocks. In these three stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Again, both together overlapped with daily demand zone. But daily trend is sideways. So that is the reason why checking EMA confluence does not give any advantage. Okay, this is bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, we will look into bearish trade setup for daily income trade. So entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement should be violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12, and also 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got three stocks. So these three stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Okay. Now let's verify. Out of these three, how many are having even more high probability to get success? The first filter is based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. So setting this filter. Now let's filter. Out of three stocks, we got all three stocks. That means in all the three, these 15-minute supply zones are overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. Okay. Next, because the trend is ITF trend is a downtrend, let us verify if 75-minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. In such situation, the overlapped 15-minute supply zone might be having more high probability to get success. So let's filter. I'm going back. EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame. I'm checking 75-minute supply zone having any daily EMA confluence. Anyway, 75 minutes trend is downtrend. Let's filter. None of the stocks are having EMA confluence. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. I am removing this ITF specific EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is something wrong. What is that we got earlier? Supply zone daily and 75 is set. Sorry, we set a wrong filter here. Sorry, I will regenerate the report again, because this is the 15 minutes and 75 minutes confluence we have to set. So I am regenerating this report. I am going down. I am disabling this filter. I have to select this filter, 15-minute supply zone with 75-minute supply zone confluence. This is LTF and ITF. LTF is 15 minutes, ITF is 75 minutes. So entry time frame 15 minutes. With this filter, we got all 3 stocks. Even earlier also we got all the 3 stocks, right? Okay, that means there also 75 is having daily EMA confluence. Okay. Now with this filter, we need to look for any stocks 75-minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. So in the EMA confluence, 75 with daily EMA confluence. With this filter, no stocks are available. Perfect. Okay, now I am removing this filter. Now we are looking for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. So 15-minute supply zone with 75-minute supply zone confluence filter is enabled already. Remaining 2 filters, 15-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence, 75-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, that is LTF, ITF, HTF, supply zone confluence, we got again all the 3 stocks. Okay. Now let us check if any of the daily supply zones are having daily EMA confluence from this list. But first one we have to eliminate sideways trend. In the remaining 2 stocks we need to check. So I am going back. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, I am checking any daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence or not. At the same time, trend on the daily should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So with this filter, again we don't have any stocks. Okay, this is about a bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Okay, next let us look into hourly income trade reports. Hourly income trade bullish trade setup, entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone demand zone, bullish or bearish at 5 minutes time frame. I am selecting bullish and zone achievement VOZ minimum odd enhancer score 12, and also 5 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value is 0, maximum value is 0. So with these filters, we got 15 stocks. So total 15 stocks are filtered. Okay. All these 15 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 5 minutes demand zones. All these are all entry time frame zones. Total we got 15 stocks. Out of these 15 5 minutes demand zones, how many are having even more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the demand zone confluence. First filter is LTF ITF demand zone confluence, that is 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone confluence. I enable the filter. With this filter, out of 15 stocks, we got 12 stocks. In these 12 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with, all these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zones. That is what demand zone confluence. Okay. And 15 minutes trend is up in all these stocks, ITF trend. If any of the 15 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, then those zones might be having even more high probability to get success. Let us filter in the EMA confluence at 15 minutes time frame, checking any of the 15 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got one stock. Probably this 5 minutes demand zone might be having more high probability to get success. At present, current MMN is moving between these two 5 minutes demand and supply zones. Okay, next we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter, that is 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence supported stocks. So we need to set 3 filters here. First filter is already enabled, 5 minutes with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. Next 5 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence, and also 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence, we got 5 stocks. In these 5 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone, both together again overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is up in 3 stocks. If any of those 3 stocks, 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence, then those stocks might be having even more high probability to get success. Let's filter the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame and checking 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence or not. At the same time, trend on the 75 should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. Let's filter. So none of those stocks are having daily EMA confluence. Okay, this is bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Next we will generate bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, supply zone in bullish or bearish at 5 minutes. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd enhancer score 12, and 5 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0, With these filters, we got 5 stocks. These 5 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Let us verify high probability trade setup supported 5-minute supply zones that we will identify based on this zone confluence. First filter is 5 minutes and 15 minutes supply zone confluence. So I enable the filter. This is LTF ITF supply zone confluence. So we got 3 stocks. So these 3 5-minute supply zones are overlapped with 15-minute supply zone, and 15 minutes trend, ITF trend is down. If any of the 15-minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, probably those 5-minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. Let's filter EMA confluence at 15 minutes time frame. We are checking any 15-minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence. One stock is filtered. So this is the 5-minute supply zone, might be having more high probability to get success. Okay. Next we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, 5 minutes with 15-minute supply zone confluence. Next 5-minute supply zone with 75-minute supply zone confluence. And 15-minute supply zone with 75-minute supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these 5-minute supply zones are overlapped with 15-minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with 75 minutes supply zone. But 75 minutes trend is up or down in only one stock. So in this stock, if 75 minutes supply zone having daily EMA confluence, then probably this 5-minute supply zone might be having more high probability to get success. So let's verify. In the EMA confluence, at 75 minutes time frame, I am checking 75 minute supply zone is having daily EMA confluence or not. At the same time, trend on the 75 minute supply zone should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. With this filter, we did not get any stocks. So this is about bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. With this, we have completed all the 4 income trade reports, and in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. I am generating the report. So first 17 stocks in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So I am scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there pause the video. After that you can proceed further. Okay, I am scrolling the list. So this is the end of the report. I wish this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let us all meet again in our next video. Thank you.